right. We are back, week 6 of the Rowdy and Rayce podcast. Unfortunately, Rowdy is out, but we have Justin Kolb subbing in for him later on. We also have Johnny Thomas, our special guest, and our weekend winners of Iowa, Cameron Rich for the Chesapeake Series, and Sam Close. He won Iowa. That makes him now 3 for 4, and the B-Car Series. Ridiculous, man. About tired of interviewing him, am I right? No, I'm playing. Love interviewing Sam. You can tell he's getting good at it. He's hearing an awful lot. Today, of course, like I said, weekend winners. We're also going to talk on the round table about, who's hot and who's cold, of course. How is Iowa, the weekend heading into Bristol, and the quality of our racing. I won't, go into it too much right now, but of course, it's there's no hiding the fact that Iowa and Las Vegas, they've been caution fest, and we're being broadcasted, and we're being broadcasted on the iRacing website. So this doesn't look good on us. Let's be honest. It doesn't look good, and we're going to improve it. And without a doubt, we're going to improve it. So where do we start? And that's what we'll be discussing today for sure. So I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Sorry Levi's out. His work schedule is always kind of weird and kind of late, and doesn't always work with everybody's schedule. But we're going to work some now. Maybe Levi won't be able to make every roundtable discussion, but I'll make sure he will set up a certain time slot that he can make our intro. So, hope you guys enjoy the podcast. We're going to start off, of course, with our B-Car Series winner, Sam Close. He took Iowa, and then we'll move on to Cameron Rich, and then move on to the roundtable discussion, and end with the lap at Bristol. So, I really hope you all enjoy. Let's head over to Sam. Once again, Sam is now 3 for 4 in the B-Car Series. He's won Daytona, Rockingham, and Iowa. Didn't come up in Montreal, but we really didn't expect him to. That's fine. 3 for 4. Looking to go 4 for 5 next week, Sam. What won you Iowa?
Track position at the end of the race. I was fast all race. I wasn't the fastest car, but I actually was back in the field for a little while and fought my way back up without getting any more kind of incidences, and put myself in the right position. Had a little bit of luck when the caution flew and the leaders were in pits, so that helped me get from, say, about 7th, 6th, 5th, up to, the lead. And once I got there, I just held on to it for dear life with those older tires.
Oh yeah, me and Justin actually commentated over that race. It was like the first B race I got to watch, and very entertaining. You were definitely fast all race, and I noticed you were very smart because you knew at the end you had old tires. A lot of people went in for tires, and I thought that was it. But you were really aggressive on the restarts, able to get out front. I think that was very smart. How was the racing for Iowa? Where were you at? Of course I commentated, but I'm watching the whole field. I didn't watch just Sam Close. So, what got you up into first place? How was the racing? Would you have done anything different? I know, of course, you won, but there's always better ways to win. No one. Winning is winning, but of course, you're going to win. You want to do it very dominantly. No one wants to be scraping right there at the end. So, what are your thoughts coming out of Bristol? Coming out of Iowa.
Well, at the beginning of the race, especially in the B car, I don't know if it was as easy to pass on the outside in the A car as it was the B car, but at the start of the race, I was trying to work the bottom a little bit, and it really cost me some positions, but it also, taught me a pretty valuable lesson for the rest of the race to just get up top. I think if I could have stayed up top from the start and just kind of rode, saved my stuff, and not lost a couple of those positions in the beginning, just trying to, make up ground on the bottom, that I probably could have maintained up there a little bit better. Other than that, I wouldn't really change anything. Me and Skylar, we got in one incident, which was pretty just racing, that put me to the back. But it was actually quite fun to try to work up through the field and passing on the outside. It was really fun to pass on the outside around 3 and 4, and you carry all that momentum. And I think that's where I was strongest. So as far as doing stuff differently, I learned my lesson and, made the change. So I guess that's not really too much of a negative thing. But it was a fun race.
Oh yeah, for sure. I loved watching it, loved commentating it. I really agree that the middle to high lane was really the preferred lane. It was really exciting watching people making. I know Dale Owen made some good passes on new tires on the bottom lane, but made it very quick to get back to the top, and a lot of passes on the high side. I think that's always really. I like high side racing. I think it's a lot of fun. I think Bristol's going to be a blast. Now, of course, we'll talk about the B Series first because that's where. That's what you won, and of course you're running that full time. You're 3 for 4. Now they get a week off. It's going to be the Cup Series and the Three Rock Series this weekend at Bristol, and then they'll be coming back May 8th at Auto Club. How do you plan to run there?
At Bristol, I plan to run really well. I've got some experience there. I did the last fixed series, and I kind of got the track down. So I'm hoping to just stay up front, maintain track position, and try to bring one home and stay out of trouble. I mean, getting around lap cars is going to be difficult. Working your way through the field, you're just going to have to be patient. Use some pit strategy to gain some track position depending on where you're at, and you'll be okay. As far as Auto Club is concerned, I'm a little iffy on that one. It's never been one of my strongest tracks, but hopefully with some practice I can fine-tune it a little bit and have enough speed to run up there with those guys.
Oh yeah, Auto Club is such a unique track. There's really nothing to compare it to anymore. I know Michigan was a pretty close second when it was before the repave, but it still had a lot of banking and not quite as wide. So Auto Club is definitely a wild card in and of itself, and I'm pretty excited. I might actually come back to the B car series. I haven't raced there since Daytona. I think I was pushing you to the win. That's right. Maybe you're gonna push me to the win. Am I right?
Oh, you're right. You got me up there for sure. There was some good teamwork going on.
So, of course, you won. You've earned this airtime. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout-out to, thank, or just anything in general to finish off your interview?
Once again, I just always, want to thank Corey, Tanner, you for doing the podcast, the broadcast guys. And you guys also, you and Justin did an amazing job. I love the broadcast. I love the commentary. Other than that, no.
All right. Well, sweet. It's great to have you by. I'm sure we'll see you very, very soon. You're getting pretty good at this, Sam. Thank you.
Thank you, Rayce.
We have Cameron Richard here, our first-time winner. Probably should have happened a little bit earlier, but without a doubt he was going to get one eventually. Cameron, what won you Iowa? I mean, I know, like I said, you probably should have been here a little bit earlier. You said you're pretty strong here at Iowa. It's similar to Richmond, which is a strong track for you. But our race specifically, what got you into first place on that final lap?
Honestly, I don't really know how, it wasn't any one particular thing. It's just, the stars aligned and something didn't happen to me. But, I was pretty comfortable all weekend. I did a little bit of testing there beforehand just to get a feel of the car, just see how it felt in different grip levels, and I felt really confident at the start of the race that I could put my car wherever I wanted to and make it pass when need be, or if something happened, like I got loose and had to cool my tires off, then I knew what to do in that situation. Mm-hmm. But I never really got to exercise that strength I had because our longest run was like 10, 20 laps or something like that.
Yeah, I feel you. And, if you got to do it all again, I mean, of course you won, but would you have done anything different to get that win?
Well, there was a point in the race where I did kind of overcook it and spin out, and that was embarrassing, of course. I don't like to do that, but I just made a mistake. I wouldn't do that again, and I did. There was a part I was racing with Sam off turn 2, and I got really sideways because I did it again really, and this was more towards the end of the race, and that really cost me. And I should have probably been a little bit more patient, but other than that, I can't really say anything that I would do differently besides just be more patient, because the way the race played out, I don't know honestly what you could have done differently.
Yeah, I feel you. Now, of course, you mentioned you got into some trouble and spun out. Overall, I mean, how did your whole race go? Were you up front a lot of it? Unfortunately, I had to miss some of it. So, I mean, where'd you qualify? Were you up front for most of the race? How long did it take you to get back to the front after you spun out? When did you spin out? Just kind of talk me through how your race went.
Well, I started on the pole, and I led about the first 10 or so laps, and we had a pit sequence, and I got back to about 5th or 6th or something, because Johnny, he stayed out, and he led a good portion of the race after that. On one of the restarts, I actually got an EOL penalty for changing lanes, because I just wasn't paying attention, and that shuffled me to the back. And I made my way up to the front again, which is when I spun out, so of course I went to the back again, made my way up to the front, and basically up and down day. I never really thought that I was out of it, or felt that way. I always knew that, there's that chance that I could get back up there. Just that I did have a little bit of an issue. Like I said, I would be a little bit more patient in what I was doing, because mistakes don't win you races.
Well, I mean, you overcame adversity not once but twice, so you definitely earned that win. And since you earned that win, you've earned this airtime to thank anybody, give a shout out to anybody, or anything like that. So, is there anything else you would like to say?
Just want to thank my team owner Drew for bringing me here. I'm having a blast. Honestly, this has been so fun to get back into racing at 3 wide, and the admins here, they're doing a good job. It's a really professional league. I like what I see. I just wish that my teammates last race would have had a little bit more luck. I know Richard and Drew both felt good about their cars, and they got involved in accidents. But I'm looking forward to the rest of the year, man. I'm having a blast, honestly. I'm so glad that I have a chance to race with a group of guys like this that I know can actually race hard and clean and stuff, and it's really cool.
Oh yeah, well there's no doubt you could be back here. I look forward to racing with you. Maybe we'll swap a few wins, Cameron. It was nice talking to you. I'm sure we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Today we have Justin Kolb subbing in for Levi Zielinski on the roundtable. Cameron Rich and Sam Close are weekend winners, and our special guest Johnny Thomas. We can pretty much start off with saying that Cameron Rich finally wins. Some could say he could have been 3 for 3, but he finally pulls off the win in Iowa. What's it like to finally get in victory circle, Cameron?
Oh, it's awesome. I'm glad to be a 3-wide winner, and I couldn't pick a better track than Iowa to do it, because honestly, I'd say my best track is Richmond, and then it's kind of Iowa's kind of like its big brother, so I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, I think on the podcast, I think after I saw your performance at Atlanta, I've called you for the win 2 times. So thank you for not making me look stupid. And then of course Sam Close is here again. He's won again. Sam Close is now 3 for 4 in the Nathan Young Design B Car Series. Sam, what the hell?
I don't know what to tell you. Just seem to be at the right place at the right time right now, and have pretty good speed. So everything is working out.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure you have a very commanding lead in the B Car Series for sure. So now that we're done with Iowa, we got to talk about who's hot and who's cold heading out of Iowa. Now, of course, I had to miss pretty much the whole race. I got about 10 laps in at the end, so you guys kind of got to help me here. Justin, who's your pick for hot and who's your pick for cold as we leave Iowa and head on to Bristol?
Hot, obviously it has to be Cameron Rich. He's been dominating these past couple races and finally got it done. So he's definitely on a hot streak. He says he's not good at Bristol, but I look for him to be good there as well. And then cold, I have to say, is Corey Lindsay. He was pretty good beginning of the season and hasn't really shown much after that. So hoping he can get it back going.
Oh yeah. And what about you, Cameron? Don't be afraid to pick yourself. Coming out of Iowa, who's hot and who's cold?
Well, I do feel like I do feel great about my chances, every single week, and Of course, Sam is hot. He's gonna be strong every week. Cold, I've heard Paul Ross. I mean, I'm new to the league, so I don't know much, but I've heard he should be faster every week, and he seems to be getting involved in trouble every week. And actually, a lot of guys that I've heard that should be fast have been just getting involved in these wrecks and bad luck.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with both of you. And then what about you, Johnny? Coming out of Iowa, who do you find hot and who's cold?
Well, obviously it's Cameron. He's the hottest guy right now. Honestly, I think he should have about 3 wins right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy who's not hot, I'd have to go with Skinner. He's had a lot of tough races, and he's been getting in things that he shouldn't be getting in. But I expect him to rebound.
Yeah, you're right. Michael Skinner didn't really cross my mind, but that's definitely a really good pick. And then finally on to you, Sam. Who's hot and who's cold leaving Iowa?
Well, everybody said Cameron. I'll go with Cameron too. There's really no mistaking that he's fast. Now, I don't know about what you guys are talking about. He should have had 3 wins by now, but cold. I'll go with Paul as well, just because he's been getting in trouble and getting in those wrecks, and he really should be running better, and he's just on a cold streak personally right now, but I think he'll come back.
Yeah, I definitely agree with pretty much. I mean, I agree with every pick. Cameron is definitely the hottest one coming out of here. I think Johnny Thomas made a real good point with Michael Skinner. He's almost a sleeper in the way that he should be performing a lot better, and he seems to be getting involved with accidents. Same thing with Paul Ross. I mean, so much so that last week he announced that he wouldn't be racing anymore, and thankfully that didn't fall through, and he raced with Iowa, but still got involved in an accident. So hopefully, it happens. It's everybody goes through a dry spell or a funk. So I could definitely see Corey, Michael, and Paul all getting out of it no problem. So next week, Bristol, for the Chesapeake Diecast Series and the 3 Rock Series, the B-Car Series will of course be taking a break. How do you guys plan to perform there? Justin, do you think you're going to be pretty strong? Are you racing either series or just a Cup Series? How do you plan to perform at Bristol?
I feel like I've gotten better at Bristol since I've gotten the hang of it. One update they did kind of screwed up the track, but I got used to it, and obviously winning last year, not toot my own horn, but I think I got some good speed going into Bristol, and yeah, I'll be running both series just to get some more track time.
Sounds good. I think I'll be doing the same. What about you, Cameron? I know you have expressed your hate for Bristol. Do you still plan on performing well? Is there a reason why you hate it? Is it because you're just not as fast there, or is it just because you don't like racing it? How do you plan to perform this weekend at Bristol?
Yeah, I do think my hatred for the track is quite well documented at this point. I just don't like it because it's a highline fest and it's so hard to pass, and it gets frustrating after you're stuck behind someone for however many laps. But it's just, it doesn't fit my driving style very well, and I don't it's kind of a mixed bag on how I run, but we'll see.
I feel you. It's definitely it's a short. It falls into the short track category, but it's very much a wild card because of the extreme banking, and I find it very fun, and I can't wait for it. And what about you, Johnny? You plan on running well this weekend at Bristol?
I think I do pretty good. I've had a couple pulls there in this league, and then my first ever race was here at Bristol in the National Series that we used to run back in the day for 3 wide, and that was cool. But I think I'll do all right. I got in a mess with about 20 laps into the race here last season.
That was your first ever race with us? Because I'm pretty sure I actually won the national race at Bristol.
Yeah, well, about 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I remember. I mean,
Yes,
listen, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but man, I whooped y'all. I'm just kidding.
Qualified on the pole, and then I don't know if I finished 4th or 5th there.
I remember there was that wreck at the beginning, and I was really upset about that, but I was able to get back.
Yeah, I was involved in that one.
Yeah, I know. I wonder who did that. Listen, no names. And of course, Sam. How do you plan on performing? You going to go ahead and go 4 for 5 here? What about you, Sam? 4 for 5 this weekend? How are you going to do in the Cup Series? How about your arm? You still like a pirate, or you got both back?
No, I'm still racing with just the right arm right now, just because the doctor says so, and it's just not possible quite yet. I probably got like another month left of this.
Wow. Well, because Bristol, that's a lot of sawing at the wheels. Are going to be a challenge for you? Obviously, it's not going to be. You're 3 for 4 in the B car series. You're doing great in the Cup series. So, do you plan on going 4 for 5, or is it going to be one of those races you're just going to try to get through? How do you perform at Bristol?
My main goal is to qualify up front, and then it's going to be, I think it'll be a track position game. Hopefully, if you can get up towards the front and just be patient and stay out of trouble and continue to eat away at track position, once you get that lead, depending on how the cautions fall, it'll be really hard for somebody else to get by you.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. So, I'd like to take this time, and I'll be giving a little shout out each week. June 27th, the 3-Ride Racing Series will be having a throwback, like we did. We did that last season, did we not? We did last season, yeah. We'll be having a throwback at Darlington where everybody is allowed to run replica paint schemes, throwback paint schemes before. I'm pretty sure it's 2001. We'll have Corey in here talking about that, a little more detail on that. So make sure you get your paint schemes submitted to our website and to Corey to make sure that nobody shows up. Make sure no one shows up in a Dillon Hart scheme, because that's very possible in iRacing. So on to the big topic of tonight, and it's the quality of racing. We had a pretty rough race at Las Vegas, and we just kind of shrugged it off as, every series has a real bad race, and you get about 1, 2, maybe even 3 of them a season. But unfortunately, it seems we had a bad one at Iowa, and I know it's now becoming more of an issue, and it's being talked about more and more. So, of course, we want to make sure we work on that, because with, a 30-car field, we're being broadcasted to the website. We're on the website, iRacing's website portal. Let's be honest, it looks bad. It looks bad when our league, we're wrecking out the whole race, and the finishes are all wonky, and we're crowning winners under caution. So, Justin, let's say you were in, the position Corey's in. What would you do to start off your address of the quality of racing we've been having the past few weeks?
We're just really looking at, who's the problem and what causes the problem. In my opinion, I think it may just be drivers overdriving the corner and not letting up to try and actually make the corner. But it's a very tough position for Corey to fill. Obviously, he's going to have some help with some other admins in the league, and whatever he does, we'll all back him up, and it'll be right.
Yes, sir. And then, same question to you, Cameron. You're new to this league, so of course you have a different outlook than a lot of us. Let's say you're in Corey's position. You've seen the poor racing in the past 2 races, but you've seen really great racing, like at Atlanta, and we had a real great race at Daytona. I know Rockingham was great. So, especially if Rockingham was a good race, we're capable of putting on good racing at a tough track. So, Cameron, let's say we put you in Corey's position. What would you do to kind of address our quality of racing and try to improve it?
Well, I wouldn't exactly say the racing has been bad, when there actually was racing. It's just people not using their heads. You go through the replays and you see what's happening, and it's like people in the back just overcooking the corners completely and hitting other people. So, honestly, a couple of leagues I used to run in NRO 03 days, we had a system in place where we actually had caution limits. Like, if you caused 2 cautions, then you were done. And I know that, I don't know if you guys ever done that before, but just coming from my previous leagues, that might be something to look at if the racing continues to get worse or doesn't get better. But honestly, I didn't expect a bad race at Las Vegas whatsoever, because that track has so much grip. Iowa, I can't say much because I caused the caution. I spun out by myself. The track was tough. It was loose. It was slick. So just gotta. It's kind of a wait and see at this point, I think, for the admins, and I'm sure they'll get it right. It seems like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't doubt that it'll be improved at all. I don't doubt that one bit, because we always kind of have an issue. It's because we always have, where the league is growing, we always have newer and newer people, and it kind of takes some time to adjust to a new group of guys, especially with a field of 30. That's amazing, and it's consistent. We have 30, 32, 31 registered racers for Iowa's. That's really, really impressive. So, Johnny, let's say I put you in Corey's position. You've noticed the quality of racing, not necessarily when there is racing. I'm more talking about, with the a lot of cautions flying, a lot of yellow flags. What do you do to fix it?
Yeah, Corey, that's a tough job he's got. But Cameron's idea was kind of cool because in the if you guys go to like local short tracks, dirt tracks, if you spin out 3 times or if you cause a caution 3 times, then you got to go in the pits and you're done for the day. And I never really thought about that, but that'd be kind of cool for this league if the accidents keep staying the way it is. But we got 30-something people weekly, which is awesome. I love that we have so many people, but a lot of the inexperienced guys, they just need to kind of, in my opinion, tone it down a notch and take it easy. I mean, these races are super long, and kind of take it easy for 50%, 60% of the race. That you'll get a good finish out of it, and these guys, they need to understand that just a little bit more.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I like the idea, like you two said, about the 3 or so cautions and pull down pit road and park it. I think that's a great way to start. And then finally, before I state my opinion, what about you, Sam? Let's say I put you in Corey's position. What would you do, or where would you start to try to improve the quality of our racing?
Well, I would just flip out on everybody. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, maybe just, maybe we can start with just a chat and kind of like what we're doing right here, have a discussion about it, and just have everybody on the same page that you got to calm down and relax in the early stages of the race. There's no need to be taking huge risks or making, poor judgment calls when you still got 90 laps left in a race. If you feel like you're running a little loose, maybe you back off on the exit a little bit. If it just doesn't make sense to really try to outdrive everybody else so early. I don't understand that, and I think maybe we should just. I told Corey that maybe we should just play some of that Asian massage music that you hear before you go get your massage right before the race, and so everybody can, have their little moment of zen.
Sounds pretty good to me. I'd be down. If I was in Corey's position, I really like, I'd say my first plan of action, Bristol, I would make the drivers' meeting short, and I suggested this in our committee. I would make the drivers' meeting short. I know, of course, a little pre-race, hey, chill out, isn't going to just fix it overnight. I think it's a good start. I really like the idea of not necessarily just kicking guys out of the league, but maybe, and I don't think an incident cap is a good idea because, of course, tracks like Bristol, Martinsville, they produce a lot of incidents that's just racing. So we don't want somebody to get booted just because of just a little bumping and banging. But I really like the idea. If you're the cause of 3 cautions, we have 1 to 2 driver officials officiating the race every week. There's no reason why we can't keep a track of who's causing the caution or who's a bad egg. And I just say park them. Park them right there. They don't have to burn a provisional. They'll still get whatever position they finish in points. So I think that's a really good start. Actually, I really like that. And that's something I probably will be forwarding to Corey for sure. I really like that. So say that probably about wraps up our roundtable discussion this week. Is there any final words from any of you guys?
If I may add a little thing to what we were just saying, my teammate Drew Osmond actually had a pretty good point during the race. We've both been through countless NRO3 leagues, and another thing he had an idea was, if you see a trend with certain drivers that keep causing cautions over and over again, every single race, 2 cautions, etc., etc. I know this league has a B car series, and maybe it should be like, hey, you don't seem to be able to effectively race the A car without causing issues every week. So maybe say, hey, they should run the B car, and then they can come back up when they demonstrate that they can do that, without causing cautions and being clean about it. That's an idea. I've seen that in leagues before, and I
like that a lot.
Yeah.
I'd say let's say we go the old parking route. I'd say maybe if you've been parked so many times, I'd say either you can go race in the B and 3 Rock series, or you can just no longer race. Period. Just kind of work on your craft, work on your skill a little bit, because the A car, I mean, it's a different beast to handle. I mean, the B car. I mean, I really like the way the league has progressed with the national car, the super late model, the B and the A. It's kind of let everybody work their way up, and I think it's a really good idea. But of course, some people like to. I mean, some people could see our league like on the stream, the podcast, Twitter. I mean, anything, and say, oh, I'd like to try that, and jump right into the A car and not quite have it, which is fine. I mean, there's no shame in working it out in the B car series. So yeah, I'd say there's a lot of good ideas, and a lot of these will be forwarded to Corey. I definitely will be taking part in that. So I'd like to thank Justin Kolb for subbing in for Levi on our roundtable discussion. Our winners, Cameron Rich and Sam Close, and my special guest, Johnny Thomas, for stopping by. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and we'll see y'all next week. Okay, so this is a lap that I've been pretty excited to do. As a lot of you know, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I live in Nashville, Tennessee. So Bristol's my home track. It's a track that I almost feel like I have to be good at, and I think I am pretty good at. So I think I can really give you guys a good insight on how to be good at Bristol. So if you've raced Bristol at any time on iRacing, in pretty much any car, the best line's high. The best line's on the high side. There's the progressive banking is going to give you the most amount of grip, the best speed. It's going to keep you out of the wall. That's right. We're going to ride the wall to stay out of the wall, because being on the low side can work for maybe 10, 15, maybe even 20 laps. But the thing is, you're going to eat your tires, and those people on the high side are going to conserve their tires. They're going to be making more speed off the corner. You're going to get beat. I think this weekend the high side is going to be the place to be, and I really want to show you how to do so. So let's get up to speed here. So you kind of want to arc the corner. You see, I mean, you can kind of exit low and come back high. So you kind of get the idea there, I'm up high, and then I kind of come down low, back out to the corner to carry my speed, back on the brakes easy. Not too much brake here, honestly. Use a lot. If I were you, or what I like to do at least, is when I'm coming to the corner, a lot of brake right here to get ahead and slow down off the brake and let it roll to the corner. And when you feel it start to sink, that's when you get on the brake, on the gas, and that'll in a way keep you high. As you kind of do that diamond effect. That's kind of, but the diamond is only really in the exit. I'm not really doing this, coming high, and then diamonding out. No. You want to enter high, and then kind of diamond your way out. That's a bit low there, but you get the idea. See, getting that low, I mean, it's not really going to work. So, like I said, it's more of a enter high track. It's really bumpy too. You got to really mind that. If you're coming here full speed and you're on those bumps are going to throw you into the wall. So I mean, this track requires consistency. It requires discipline, and it really requires your attention. Because this is one of those tracks where it's so short, so banked. I mean, you can almost get you can kind of not daydream, but you know the word I'm looking for. You kind of get distracted in a way, I'd say. So you really need to make sure you pay attention. I'm real bad at maybe getting 30, 40 laps in and just kind of forgetting. My tires are wearing out. I'm backing my corners up. So, don't let that happen to you. Now, I don't know how we'll be doing the pit stops this weekend at Bristol, but I will show you. Let's just say you're on the front stretch, or just let me show you how to get in under green. Because under green, you enter on whatever side of pit road you're on. So let me get back at speed here. I'm a little beat up, of course. So we're going to be entering on the front stretch here. Hard on the brakes. Make sure you're announcing that you're coming in. Ooh, and then you got to be at the speed limit by the yellow cone, not the orange. So there you go. You're pretty aggressive, and use your tires up. You're about to get new ones. 35 miles in here, very slow. Don't speed. I'm a sequential. I'm sorry. I just don't feel like plugging up the H pattern. That's too far forward. But you get the idea. And of course, pit exit is another place you need to be kind of aggressive. And of course, announcing you're pitting out. Stay on the apron. And then depending on the track's clear, you might have to ride the bottom lane or so. But get back to the high side as soon as you can. As soon as you can, this is where you want to be. Now, I didn't get new tires, so I lost it there. But no problem. So you get the idea, right? We're gonna be on the high side. We're entering high. We're not exiting low, but we are hitting that low side a little bit. Entering high. Exiting kind of low. That's really too low. Let me do a little more at speed lap here. Entering high. Exiting kind of low, more like mid, and then we're coming out high. See? Entering high. See those bumps? Careful of those. Exiting kind of mid to low, back to high. And careful. I know coming out of 2 isn't as loose. I think leaving 4 is a bit on the squirrely side. I'm pretty sure 3 and 4 is a smaller turn because, you know, Bristol isn't a perfect well, it's not a perfect circle at all. It's not like the perfect oval. Like, the 2 turns are not identical. I think 3 and 4 are a little more sharper. So you come out, well, you have more wheel in it, leaving 4. So you come out kind of loose. So be very aware of that. So, like I said earlier, if you attack Bristol with, you know, discipline and consistency, there's no reason why you're not going to pull off a good finish. Of course, you know, if it's early in the race, even late in the race, don't get frustrated if you can't make a pass. Don't wreck somebody. If you can't make the pass, you know, you're probably not that much quicker than them. I mean, let's be honest. So, you know, let's try to have a good race here. You know, a lot of wrecks are just coming from, I just think, you know, too aggressive racing too early, and it goes both ways. You know, if someone behind you is clearly faster, don't hold them up. I mean, you're really just slowing you both down. You know, in racing, you have to, especially in oval racing, you have to give and you have to take, but you got to do a lot of giving in the early going. I mean, you know, winning races is, you know, you're not going to win a race if you wreck. I mean, that's stating the obvious, of course. But if you do a lot of giving, I think that'll definitely pay off. There's no need to be aggressive early. Just make sure you bring that thing home, because normally when you bring a car home clean, you end up with a good finish. I mean, it's simple as that. I mean, you can have a slow car, or you're not really feeling the track, or you're not really feeling competitive. If you just stay consistent, even if you're not running the quickest laps, I promise you, stay away from trouble, you'll come home clean, I promise you. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this week's lap. I really feel like I been a little more helpful than most weeks. This is a track I really enjoy, I really love, and I think I'm pretty good at. So hopefully you guys can take this and really use it to make your weekend quicker and a lot more enjoyable. So I know, of course, in the roundtable discussion, I said thank you guys for watching the podcast. Of course, it was not. It's now the lap at Bristol. But now I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Swallowed by a slowly emperor, who's to take his place that no one deserves. Hypocrites of the media. Wondering where time ends, wondering where time goes, wondering when mine ends. Gonna ask if you could go. What's the point of team spirit if you can't hear it? Even if you got my back, what happens when I pass? You said you'd die if I died, girl, I hope you lied. They say life is